This is Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand for the morning of February 1st, 2023. I'm Wes Mills. The Indiana chapter of the Nature Conservancy, an environmental group, has just closed on the purchase of a 1,700-acre parcel in Pike County. It is the TNC's largest land purchase in more than 25 years. The tract is adjacent to the 20,000-acre Patoka River National Wildlife Refuge. Matt Williams, Director of Conservation Programs for the Indiana chapter of the TNC, says it's highly unusual to find a large wooded property all under one ownership in Indiana.
Much of Indiana's ownership is split up into smaller tracts. And so we were really excited when we heard about this possibility. You know, it's just an incredible piece of land. It includes bottomland forest, upland forest, a couple miles of an oxbow lake, provides incredible habitat for a number of declining bird species. And so we were really excited, and we were able to work with the seller and also partner with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, because this property butts up directly to Patoka River National Wildlife Refuge. And so they were very interested as a partner with us. And the Nature Conservancy was able to move really quickly and get the transaction done. And then our goal is that over time, we'll be able to transfer the ownership of this property to the National Wildlife Refuge.
TNC says the land acquisition was made possible by the organization's recently launched $48 million Human Nature campaign. Meanwhile, Indiana lawmakers have passed a bill out of committee that would require the Indiana State Department of Agriculture to keep track of farmland as it changes hands as part of land preservation and food security efforts. Inside Indiana Business reporter Alex Brown has details.
House Bill 1557 calls for the creation of an inventory of farmland lost in the last decade, whether to industry, housing, renewable energy, or otherwise. Bill author Representative Kendall Culp, who is a farmer, said the detailed data would serve as a foundation for future efforts to preserve farmland, even floating an incentive program for those wishing to sell. The Ag Department would be responsible for identifying sales of farmland, what the farmland was used for, and submit a report to the Legislative Council in 2024. The Indiana Capitol Chronicle reports some lawmakers expressed interest in tracking foreign farmland ownership, as some legislators were concerned about Chinese state ownership. But Culp said the current version of the bill does not include that. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.
The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has reached a settlement in its civil case against former Celadon Group executives Eric Meek and Bobby Peevler. Both were accused of engaging in fraud before the Indianapolis-based trucking company filed for bankruptcy and ceased operations in 2019. The federal court docket does not contain any details about the settlement. The case was filed in December 2019. A few days later, Celadon filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and ceased operations, a move that wiped out about 4,000 jobs. Attorneys from all parties have not returned phone messages from our partners at the Indianapolis Business Journal for comment. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.
In today's business environment, every company is a tech company. Interested in learning more about emerging technology trends that can make an impact on your strategy in 2023? Join us February 15th for IBJ's Technology Power Breakfast to hear from top tech entrepreneurs, investors, and up-and-comers. Our panelists will dive into key issues and trends that will inspire fresh ideas. RSVP or reserve a corporate table for 10 by February 9th at ibj.com/events.
Has your company grown at a rapid pace over the last 2 years? Nominations are now being accepted for Fast 25, IBJ's exclusive list of fastest growing companies in Central Indiana. Honorees will be spotlighted in a special publication in the IBJ and celebrated at an event on May 9th. Check out the changes to this year's criteria to see if your company qualifies. Learn more and submit your nomination by March 1st at ibj.com/nominations.
An ethanol producer in Randolph County has formed a joint venture for a carbon capture and sequestration project. Cardinal Ethanol is partnering with a Canadian company to create One Carbon Partnership LP, which will design, implement, and operate the initiative at Cardinal's ethanol plant near Union City. Cardinal said its facility, which produces about 135 million gallons of ethanol annually, generates some 400,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide as a byproduct. The partnership plans to build a new facility nearby to capture that CO2 and permanently store it underground in a secure geological reservoir. Two multi-million-dollar construction projects that represent a $1.5 billion investment to the South Shore Line are on schedule. Our partners at the Times of Northwest Indiana report officials from the commuter rail line on Monday provided an update to the board of directors of the Northern Indiana Commuter Transportation District. South Shore Line President Mike Nolan told the board that the $649 million double-track project from Michigan City to Gary is on track for full revenue service to begin in about 16 months. NICD's other project, the $949 million Westlake Corridor Extension, continues on schedule for a May 2025 opening. Last month, Nolan told Inside Indiana Business the projects will transform the commuter line.
Our total capital budget's about $2 billion over the next 3 or 4 years, which is huge for us. And it's going to change the face of this railroad in a great way. So exciting time to be here at the South Shore Line.
Nolan says the railroad aims to restart train service between Michigan City and Dune Park this summer and shift the focus of work of the double-track project to the Dune Park to Gary Metro Center stretch. The developers of a casino under construction in Terre Haute have removed the royal reference in the name of the venue. Louisville-based Churchill Downs says the property will now be known as Terre Haute Casino Resort, removing the reference to Queen from the business title. The nearly $300 million gaming venue has gone by the Queen of Terre Haute Casino since its inception. Churchill Downs says the name change is intended to streamline branding efforts. Fort Wayne-based Parkview Health says the Parkview Physicians Group clinic at Electric Works is now open. The location includes a family medicine office, a walk-in clinic, and an on-site lab. The health system says PPG had a soft opening in December and saw a limited number of patients. Now it's fully operational, with all providers accepting new patients. The clinic at the Mixed Use Innovation District also includes a pharmacy. I'm Wes Mills, Inside Indiana Business, Radio on Demand.